Right, 26 July 2024. And today I'm going to be giving you the last update of the week. So Friday is usually a very busy day for the newspapers. And today we've got a very interesting stories, got a lot of interesting stories, and most of them are in business. So I'm going to go quickly through what is happening. And I want to start with the story of FNB. Uh, sorry, not FNB. FNB will come later. Let me start with the story of CBZ. So CBZ is owned by Tagwirei, and there has been a lot of speculation about what is going to happen to POSB. POSB is a very big bank in Zimbabwe in the mass market, and it's under Mutapa Fund. Mutapa Fund is a big group of parastatals that are failing, that have been put together by Mnangagwa. So what is happening with the POSB is that it has got a lot of assets, but it's currently the only profitable. So I can say one of the only profitable companies under Mutapa Fund. And what is controversial is that John Mangunja, who has been put at Mutapa Fund, is in the process of disposing of the POSB. And the person that is going to be buying POSB is Tagwirei, who already has a lot of banks. So he already owns CBZ. And CBZ has issued a cautionary statement to say that they'll be buying a bank, but they've not revealed what bank they're buying. However, it's clear from my sources, already I've told you over the past few months, that the POSB is going to be bought by Tagwirei. I do not know where he's going to place this. And this transaction has been on hold for quite some time. However, you can see from this cautionary statement that this is going to be ongoing and this is going to happen very soon. So Mutapa Fund is starting to sell assets to connected individuals like Tagwirei, and they are just waiting for the right structure. So we are going to see within the next few months, Tagwirei owning POSB on top of CBZ and many other companies in the banking sector. So I do not know if that is in line with the regulations or the laws of Zimbabwe, that one person can own so much in the banking sector. And the POSB is very profitable compared to the other assets of Mutapa. So I don't know what is the rationale of selling POSB instead of getting rid of some of the loss-making parastatals. So you should be able to look at that transaction very, very soon. Tagwirei, through his companies, CBZ probably buying the POSB bank. And the POSB bank is one of the better performing companies within Mutapa Fund. So let's see what happens with the Mutapa. Mutapa is going to be very interesting because I believe that it's being used for asset stripping. So they are going to use it to take assets from the government and sell it to private players. And the tech player is obviously going to be the loser because they're going to remain with the companies that don't make money, while they take those companies that make money and give it to their friends. Then I want to quickly go through some stories. And the biggest story for today is the Institute of Directors of Zimbabwe. They've announced the people who won the Director of the Year awards. And the Director of the Year awards is a very interesting award ceremony. It's being handled by the chairman here, Gilford Moyo, and the CEO, Catherine Nyachionjeka. These are the people behind this Director of the Year awards. And the people that won this year are also popular people that you know. Regina Chinamasa, she's the best CEO in Zimbabwe, overall best CEO of Zimbabwe. She's from Zimra. Then you've got Chipo Chimuka here. She is the Woman Director of the Year. And she is quite interesting because I think she's connected to Obey Chimuka, who is in the on the US sanctions. So I do not know if the two are connected, but if that would be interesting if she's connected to him. So I just hope that I got her name correct there. I'll check that as we go, if she is really connected to Obey Chimuka. That would be interesting, because then that links once again to Tagwirei. And you know Tagwirei and Obey Chimuka and also his wife, they are also on the US sanctions list, but she runs a commercial firm, a commercial lawyers firm, and she's been named. So that commercial firm is called Chimuka Mafunga Commercial Attorneys. So let's see if these guys are connected. I'll be checking. There are other people who won the Director of the Year awards, including the runner-up, Grace Muradzikwa here, who's well known. And let's see who else is won here. There's quite a number of people who won awards, and you can check it out on the Zimbabwe Institute of Directors of Zimbabwe page. So these are very important awards, because what is happening in Zimbabwe is most new companies are not coming up. All the old companies are the ones that are doing well. And you can see here also the CEO of POSB, Garainashe Changunda, is also one of the people that won an award over here. So check out this. This is very interesting. You get to know who is who in the banking sector, in the parastatal sector, and also in the NGO sector. People like Garikaimose Tongowona, he won an award here in the NGO sector as the best CEO. So there's a lot that is happening. Susan Mutangadure was the chairperson of the adjudication committee. So there is a lot happening in terms of Zimbabwe has obviously got a lot of people that are business leaders. But I believe that some of these business leaders, they are not founders. So there are very few founders. We've got a lot of traditional people in leadership positions, but they're not starting companies. So you don't have a lot of young people starting companies in Zimbabwe. What you have is a lot of people who have been in the industry for a long time, who continue to move from one company to another as CEO or as business leaders. Take, for example, Elliot Rishwaya here. I do not think she is really a CEO. These are public appointees, people who are put in place by Mnangagwa. She was at the Great Zimbabwe University yesterday, where they were signing a content deal. So there is a lot of people in leadership positions, but I think what is lacking is new companies coming up in Zimbabwe. So check out the Institute of Directors of Zimbabwe. You will get to understand more about what is happening in the business sector of Zimbabwe. So let's quickly look at other stories. And I want to go now to a story in the H Metro newspaper. So this is a very interesting story. This is Demetrius Renga. She is in court after she defrauded her husband of 250,000 US dollars while he was bedridden. Harrison Marange is accusing Demetrius Renga of stealing 250,000 US dollars. So go and check out that story. It's going to be a big story. It's in the newspapers. And she stole that money while he was bedridden. So that is one of the big stories in the H Metro newspapers for today. And then I want to look at Botswana. So in Botswana, they've run out of unleaded petrol 93. And this is the big deal, because unleaded petrol 93 is used mostly for the older equipment, which doesn't function with unleaded petrol 95. And Botswana Oil has presented a reason why this is the case. And this is because their supplier in South Africa has been closed since May. So there's no unleaded petrol 93. And therefore, they're asking people to use unleaded petrol 95. And this is because the supplier, Natref, has been closed since May for maintenance, and they have not reopened. So that is in Botswana. And then in Botswana, once again, they've started a national biogas project. So Botswana has started a national biogas project, and I understand in Zimbabwe, they're also doing the same. Then in Zambia, there is a sad case that has come to light, and this is the death of Independent Broadcasting Authority of Zambia director, Gundila Mleya, who was found dead on Wednesday morning. He went missing on Tuesday night and was found by a passerby. And he had been shot dead. Two spent cartridges, bullet cartridges were found at the scene. He was previously the managing director or the GM of Mount Choice in Zambia. He was recently appointed to this position less than 3 months ago as the Independent Broadcasting Authority managing director. And it's not clear who has killed director Gundila Mleya. He was found dead. And gun crime is very rare in Zambia. So it's not clear what is happening here. So I'm sure that the Zambians will be able to investigate and bring to book the guys who have killed Gundila Mleya. So today I want to be very quick. Let's go to South Africa. So in South Africa, there's a big story today. This is drip footwear owner Lekau Seoana. This is the South African local shoe manufacturer, the first or one of the two or so local shoe manufacturers. The South African Reserve Bank has seized $200,000 from his bank account at FNB, citing foreign exchange. He's broken some foreign exchange regulations, so they've taken away $200,000 from his bank account. So I do not know what is the actual crime that is committed, but he claims that the South African Reserve Bank did not tell him when they took the money at FNB. So that is Lekau Seoana of Drip Footwear, and this company is going through a lot of problems. It's claimed that the company is insolvent, and people are trying to liquidate this company because it cannot pay back debts of over 20 million rands. But it's clear that he had $200,000 in a bank account, which is about 3.6 million rands. So this money has been taken or seized. It's going to be deposited into the state fund or the National Revenue Fund. He's never going to get this money back. And I do not know whether he took this money from somewhere and put it over there, but the government has taken the money. They've seized the money for foreign exchange, breaking foreign exchange regulations. So I think this is what we have for today. I do not want to take a long time here. Let's see if there's anything interesting in the newspapers. As you know, Mnangagwa is going to be in Victoria Falls today. So let's see what happens over there. It's crazy what Mnangagwa has done. He's going to be basically at a cookout with Auxilia Mnangagwa. So there's been a publication by the B Metro newspaper. So I want to share with you the B Metro newspaper. Very interesting newspaper from Bulawayo. So let's see what they're saying today. So B Metro newspaper is leading with the story. I don't even want to say it. Woman demands got as compensation from 4 rapists who have offered $40 settlement. You can go and check out that story. And then DJ Zandimazi survives 7-hour brain surgery. So Zandimazi is a Zimbabwean DJ based in South Africa. So she has had a brain surgery which took place. She had a seizure in 2022 when she was in the UK. So you can check it out. It's over there in B Metro. I don't want to read this newspaper. It's so small that if I read it, then you guys will have gotten the free newspaper, and these guys don't like it when I read their newspapers. So I only give you 1 or 2 stories from the newspaper. So very interesting newspaper, B Metro. You can go check it out. They give out all their stories for free. Then obviously there's the Zayoja story. This is Zayoja pastor who went into the blankets of a fellow church member. So you can check it out in B Metro newspaper. I don't want to give you the details, but he's called Stuart Mangwiro. He is a team leader at Coverlink Micro Insurance Holdings, and he was in the habit of inappropriately touching a 19-year-old female subordinate who is employed as a marketing agent. And these people are part of Zayoja. Zayoja should actually be changed to Gomorrah right now. That is what is happening. They're always in the news or something. But guys, this is just a joke, okay? This is recounting the most shocking details of a victimization. The victim said the harassment began when Mangwiro was tasked with training, supervising, and accompanying the company's agents to Ngai district, Matabeleland province, to market the products. She claimed Mangwiro would visit their sleeping quarters under the guise of providing work guidance. The visit escalated to an inappropriate touching. When I started to work, things were fine. So you can go and read the story. You know how it goes with Anwakaita Mangwiro. So I just want to wrap it up for today. It's mostly business stories. So I know business stories are quite complicated. And let's see if there's any other newspaper that is published here in terms of news. And I want to look at Zimbabwean newspapers, obviously. So there is a newspaper which does the news in Zimbabwe in terms of all the business stuff. And that newspaper is called, let's look what this newspaper is called, Zimbabwe newspaper. Let's see what is there from Zimbabwe. Right, it's called Business Weekly. It says Mtuli backs Zig. Right, Zig is interested with more use cases. So what has happened is that police have started to arrest people this week again over the Zig, and they've also started freezing bank accounts because the Zig has been crashing. So the Zig is a fake currency. It's not going to do well. The moment they stop arresting people, it's going to crash, and nothing's going to happen with the Zig. So they're saying exchange rate, the biggest risk for Zig sustainability. The Zig is crashing. Check it out in Business Weekly. And as I said, they've started arresting people. Then they said Zimbabwe records Zig 2.3 billion budget deficit, which means things are getting worse and worse. It's not going to get better. Go and look at Business Weekly. There's a lot of stories over here. But in short, if you've got to manage Zig, take it out and put it in US dollars. You don't want to be left holding the bag because clever people are already taking their money out and putting it somewhere else. The reason why Anam Tuli are not releasing the cash Zig is because that currency is fake and they're printing fake Zig. And it's been happening ever since they launched the Zig. So that is how it is. And it's said that our currency is backed by police and not by production. So if the police stop arresting people, the Zig is going to crash. And at the moment, it's looking very, very bad. They've issued a new graph. I'm going to show it to you tomorrow. They are trying to show that the Zig is no longer making high highs and high lows. But what I've said to you is that the Zig is in a consolidation. So when a currency moves, it goes in like someone breathing. It goes up, then it goes a little bit in, then it shoots up. So what is going to go to happen with the Zig is that the next time it crashes, it's going to go a very big way up because it's been consolidating for over 3 months. So April, May, June, the Zig has been consolidating and it's going to crash dramatically very, very soon. So let me recap on what I just said in the beginning. Tagwirei is on the verge of buying the POSB, and the POSB is a state bank. The POSB is also likely to have an IPO if Tagwirei cannot afford to pay cash for the whole bank, and the Mutapa Fund is going to remain behind with a little bit of the bank. So check out that transaction. It's very, very interesting. I believe that this is the beginning of asset stripping or taking of assets from Mutapa to private hands. So basically, they're taking money from the government and putting it into private hands. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be back in the evening to give an update on what Mnangagwa would have done in Victoria Falls, where he's going to be opening the UN gastronomy function today. This function is also going to be hosted by his wife, Auxilia, over there. So let's see what happens with Mnangagwa to Victoria Falls. So I'll give you that update tonight. Thank you very much and a good day to you all.